That was in 1990, but the charge ultimately was dropped. In December 93, he was suspended without pay for making what the then acting police chief said was a violation of a search in violation, or a warrantless search in violation of department procedures. And then he was let go, and they paid him some money for letting him go, getting rid of him, and they said, we didn't want him to be our employee anymore. That's what Grambling said. And it says Collardi said he has been a Flint police officer for about a year. Now, why they would hire a guy with that kind of background, I don't know. We're going to find out, though. But the issue here is, it really boils down to whether or not this was some kind of a game this guy was playing and had some ulterior motive to try to impress this young girl. Now, she's a very attractive girl, as you saw. And he'd been hanging out at the restaurant all the time. He always sat where she could wait on him. And sometimes he came in twice a day. Something screwy here. So the question is, was he playing a game with the ex-boyfriend? It would seem that if what she says is true, the ex-boyfriend had information that no one else could have had unless they were there, or this officer told him what was said and what he did. So, you know, it's just screwy. Now, let me give you some examples of what I mean here, of why I think maybe this wasn't a legitimate search, legitimate investigation, legitimate action on the part of this police officer, that there was some kind of an ulterior motive that we'll discuss a little later here, and that he and the ex-boyfriend thought this was a joke of some kind. Now, when you arrest drug dealers, or you're getting ready to arrest drug dealers, you usually always ask for backup. This guy didn't even have a partner. He wasn't there in a police car. He was there in his own private car, off duty. No backup. That's unheard of. And then you had the arrangement between the boyfriend and this fella, and this cop hardly even knew the ex-boyfriend. He just met him a few days before, when she called 911 and asked to have somebody go with her to pick up her baby's clothes, and he was sent out. Now, here he is in the search situation, too. Very unusual. Normally, they will ask for a female police officer to come in to search. If they're going to make a search, why this guy searched her back pockets, which were skin tight apparently, when he could see nothing was on there? It really kind of boggles the mind. You know, it's the first time I ever heard of a search turning into foreplay. I mean, it was clear there was no weapon in the back pocket, but he still wanted to put his hands in there. I mean, some very interesting coincidences here. Ex-boyfriend provided the tip. Now, he should have been suspicious. I said, this is a red flag. This is a guy that doesn't like her, or at least doesn't like that she left him and is with someone else now. You know, he has a cowboy response, humiliates the boyfriend, searches the car, searches the boyfriend. Then the witnesses, obviously it was so bad, the witnesses, all these 20, 30 people that were out there in the parking lot as part of this car club, they start complaining. He threatened to arrest them. Now here you have 30 or 40 people in this group and another probably 30 or 40 on the other side beginning to question what the officer is doing and begin to walk up to him and say things, and he never calls for backup. Absolutely unheard of. Unless there was some other motive than making an honest arrest or an honest search. And I suggest to you that may be what happened here. Then he starts talking about he drives her to her home where he knows where it is. She didn't even have to tell him. He drove right to the house. He wanted to search his garage, or her garage, and asked the question, anybody home? My mother is. Thank God the mother was home. No telling where he was going with the next question. But when he finds out the mother's home, he just flashes his flashlight in the garage and walks away. He gets back in the car and then begins to lecture her about her boyfriend and what kind of girl he likes that he hasn't been able to find. What kind of talk is that? Who cares? All of this is going on, and it's very, very strange. And if there was this collusion with the boyfriend, and obviously something was going on here with the boyfriend and the cop, according to the girl, and he had information that only could have been picked up on that open telephone, cell phone, or he told the guy what happened. Why would he do either of those things? Unless he was playing some stupid game to embarrass the boyfriend. And the ex-boyfriend and he were having a good time at this. If that's true, or he was interested personally in the girl himself, and I think that's a possibility.